Yes, that was a big ball for Steve. Perfect position on the black had he made the pot. And missing it, he knew he was going to leave them, so it was an all-out attempt.
Eight. Nine. $60. $70. $22. 23.
There's a difference of £35,000 between winning and losing this final. The winner, 75,000. The runner-up receives 40,000. I think both players are more interested in taking the title.
30.
And young Stephen here wants to complete a hat-trick. He took the title in 1987, and he's the defending champion.
$31. $38. 39.
Steve Davis, of course, has already won this title 3 times.
$46. 47.
Now will that loose red, come into this pocket? We'll see in a moment.
$54.
Would have liked to have had this red a straighter pot to see the line better. It's more judgment than anything now, but he's played it very
55.
nicely.
Takes the break to 60.
60.
Oh, I say.
Stephen Hendry, 60.
Always missable, those slow cuts along the cushions.
Yes, and Stephen fully aware that he's left 7 reds and a possible 83 points on the table.
And without a single ball on the table being safe, Steve's got a great opportunity here to come back.
Oh, I say, what a relief. That is for this young man. He never expected to be back to the table so soon.
One.
Butterflies flying throughout, and it appears that both players are catching them. Yes,
Stephen Hendry, 1.
the nerves are taking over in this final now.
One.
Taking the blue means there's a possible 73 points there. That means you've got to have blacks with each of these reds, of course. So he's got margins to play with.
6. Seven. Thirteen.
Surely has to take the black, but it'll have to go into the pink spot.
There is an angle here, Ted. Steve may try and separate the two touching reds from this black. Be a good shot if he can do it. Should put them all on. There it is.
21. 22. 28. 29. 36.
The last red disappears. Stephen Hendry can only sit and watch the scores of his opponent creep gradually towards his own points. That's what he sees, a difference of 17 points. That not quite so good.
46.
But it'll still pot, will that green? Needs a lot of check side. He needs these last three colours to take the frame by a margin of just 10 points. And this will certainly hurt the world's #1 star, Stephen Hendry. Stephen failed at 60. And there's nothing he can do about it. That is until next frame. The black then, to be within 2 frames. Terrific performance. Fabulous performance by Steve Davis. Now just 2 frames down. Stephen Hendry leading 8 frames to 6.
Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. 15th frame, Stephen Hendry to break. Brown ball. Steve Davis, 1.
Well, unless the red to the right of the cluster will pass the pink to the centre pocket. I don't think Stephen has left anything. No, couldn't have been on.
And Steve Davis getting applause for his safety. The British sportsman is a peculiar animal. Loves the underdog. It's not long ago that they were booing Steve Davis. These 2 young men giving the thrill of a lifetime to the snooker public. And there's a wide shot of the Hexagon Theatre here in Reading, the home of this Grand Prix, and this evening, packed to capacity. Another shot, indeed showing a couple of our cameras. These reds becoming nicely spread now.
Well, that was a tremendous pot. He hasn't finished too badly on this black either.
Eight. Nine. $15.
Stephen, in taking this red, will clear the path of the black from its spot
60.
to that pocket.
$23. 24.
I think the tension's also getting to the cue ball. It keeps being cleaned.
$31. 32. 39. 40.
His opening shot was a very positive and confident pot.
$47. 48. 55. 56. 60. Stephen Hendry.
Yes, once again. Having to bridge over a ball. Stephen's missed a black that he wouldn't normally miss.
No, that's true, Eddie. In the last frame, it was 60. And he missed one and left 7 reds. This time, he's left 6 reds.
One.
Oh, I say.
Eight.
Yes, he tried to bump the red towards the middle pocket. Almost put the cue ball in there. It's a loose shot from Steve. Took the cue ball too far and left the black a lot more difficult than it should have been. Still potable though.
Steve Davis, 9.
Well, he's missed the pot, but the cue ball has finished in an awkward position.
Stephen was very quickly back to the table when Steve Davis missed that last one. Both looked quite cool. A lot of kissing going on. Hope they're enjoying it.
I think Stephen's covered on the red closest to the corner pocket. He could cut the red closer to it onto that red, or play the current red onto it, but it's got to be a good shot to score from this position.
Well, I think, Eddie, that Stephen tried to knock that red onto the other one to clip it into the pocket and just failed to make contact there. And he's now given an opportunity once again to the former world champion and world number 2 star. He's 46 points behind at this moment.
Stephen has to get low enough on the cue ball to take the white from the black past the red closest to the pocket. No, he did move it, but it may still be on. Very fine cut, but I think it's still on.
8.
It's just out of your shot. Steve's having a look at the red just by the black there as to whether he could get through to it. Appears he can't. Going for the extensions. A funny face he's pulling there.
Yes, he'll need the extension for the rest now as well. Needs to be very thin contact on the red here. Not thin enough.
Steve Davis, 8.
Eddie, as you well know, using those very long cues is very difficult to see the tip of your cue and to judge, particularly a fine cut like that.
That wasn't a good shot from Stephen. He was reasonably awkwardly placed in the corner pocket with the cue ball, but he's failed to gain position on a colour. And that's anything but a good safety shot.
Shake of the head there from Stephen. Things are not going right for him at all. This looks pretty good.
What a dream shot that was. And good escape. But the pot is on.
"39 points in it." Steve looking at the scoreboard and doing his arithmetic. Now, Steve has taken the yellow, knowing full well that he now wants one snooker. 36 points the difference and a possible 35 points on the table. But he got the position there to leave that cue ball behind the black. Wow, that's a great escape, but Stephen knows full well he's going to be in trouble again in a moment. The brown hanging around there. Any moment now we'll be covering that cue ball.
Yes, it's a good snooker, but this red is not nearly as difficult to hit as the last one. How will Steve get on with it? The way the balls are here, Stephen may have left an opportunity for Steve to take a black or perhaps a pink with this red and then get his snooker on the yellow. Decision time for Steve, which way to go about it. I think he'll eventually pot it because it's a difficult red to keep out.
One.
Now, he has to take a colour. 35 points behind at the moment. Well, the brown, he really wants the blue upwards, but he's forced into taking this brown, I think. Oh dear. Now that means Steve Davis is in real trouble. Needs 2 snookers.
It's not difficult to hit this. In fact, it's not a snooker. You can hit the yellow direct.
It looks good.
Well, it's such a good snooker this time that I'll be surprised if Stephen can hit this yellow. He certainly doesn't want to leave a free ball should he miss it. And what a great try it was. 7 points and a free ball. Couldn't have possibly been worse.
Free ball.
A complete transformation of the frame now. $28 points the difference. Steve wanted 2 snookers and the balls to tie. He now wants just 1 snooker and the balls to win. And he's got a free ball here.
Brown ball.
$28 points behind, 27 points on the table.
Yes, and if Steve can make this yellow and get the cue ball back to the balk end, it wouldn't be difficult to lay another snooker. There's the yellow.
2.
And you could well lay another snooker from this position. cue ball in behind the brown.
Another great escape. Fabulous snooker, this. Still striving for 2 frames. Could this be one of them? So near at the moment, and yet so far. I think you'll have to go down the table and back up again. Still hanging on there. His opponent, this man, Steve Davis, wanting 1 snooker. 26 points the difference. 25 points on the table. 2 frames separating them.
Steve tried to stun in behind the black there. The white ball just clipped the edge of the black.
Well, Stephen didn't plan on that kiss.
Now, I wonder if Steve will make the decision to pot the green and try and lay the snooker that he needs on the brown. Not easy to get a snooker from this position. Certainly not off the green.
3.
The only thing wrong with those tactics, of course, you're leaving yourself with 1 less ball to snooker behind.
Oh, dear, dear.
Oh, that's a bad shot.
Steve Davis 3, Stephen Hendry 4.
Steve was on his way behind the black with the cue ball, but it was a bad shot to go in off in the centre pocket.
Yes, Eddie, absolute catastrophe there. And so now it's just simple for Stephen to clean up these 3 balls, go 1 frame nearer his goal of the title. Leading now by 3 frames, Stephen Hendry, 9 frames to 6.
Sixteenth frame, Steve Davis to break. 3.
The black is free.
Four.
Stephen tried to hold the cue ball in behind the cluster of reds. He would have had a choice of reds to both corner pockets. Just slipped through further than he intended. Yes, and it caused his downfall.
Stephen Hendry, 11.
He's not terribly happy.
One.
There are 4 frames to be played in this final now, and Steve Davis requires all 4.
Eight. Nine.
I think he's positioned onto the black, leaving it too straight to be able to do anything with the cue ball as far as disturbing reds is concerned. He can
16.
push some of the reds out here, getting the cue ball into the balk area for a snooker if he possibly can, or safety at least.
Steve Davis, 16.
Steve has the loose red covered. But the young Scot opens them up and keeps it safe at the same time.
Not so difficult to hit a red, but to keep them safe, it's going to have to be a tremendously good shot. Steve could come off the side cushion and lay the cue ball onto the 4 reds just above the pink. But he's going off 2 cushions, trying for an edge off a red.
Foul.
To get back into balk, but he missed them.
Stephen Hendry, 6.
And he might find that very costly.
One.
Settles in his seat, expecting the worst. But there's a relief.
Stephen Hendry, 1.
The nerves, amazing what they can do. It's obviously contagious.
Well, I thought Steve was overreaching there, Ted, and So
One.
many shots can be missed overreaching. Great chance for Stephen again. And that's a great shot.
8. Nine. 16. 17. 24.
Down for the blue now.
25.
And as you can see, the red's becoming difficult now. Side takes the good one.
30. 31.
That puts him 40 points ahead.
38.
Is the writing on the wall? Stephen wants this frame for a hat-trick of Grand Prix titles.
39.
Steve Davis has fought so terribly hard. He had a devastating first session this afternoon. This young Scot, in such brilliant form, wouldn't allow his opponent to the table and came out
45.
a victor at 7 frames to 1, giving him a great start for this evening.
46.
55 points ahead now, and only 51 points on the table.
53. 54.
Yes, he's got a great all-round playing ability, has Stephen. And this match has certainly shown as well what a great temperament he has. He's had a lot of pressure put on him this evening,
60.
but he certainly played through it very well indeed.
The world's #1 star. Produced absolute magic this afternoon. And
66.
repeating it again here in this, the 16th frame of our 19-frame final.
67.
He won this title in 1987 and again last year.
74.
The first to applaud him, of course, will be his opponent, Steve Davis, who has already won this title 3 times and will
76.
carry off the high break prize of £7,000 as long as the runners-up for his magnificent break of 131.
79.
All the glory must go to this young
83.
Scot. Absolute fabulous performance throughout the tournament.
88. $94.
So once again he finishes with a break of 101.
Very much. Stephen
A
Hendry.
terrific performance by Scotland's Stephen Hendry, the world #1 who completes the hat-trick and goes out with a 10-6 victory and a break of 101.
£5,000, the trophy and the title of the 1991 Rothmans Grand Prix champion, Stephen Hendry.